At the end of 2024, I made a few additions to my film camera bag, which is going to slightly alter my workflow going into 2025, and I think they are worthy to share. Each thing has its own purpose and utility, whether that's a specific camera, the format that the camera has, or even a camera in combination with a lens. I try to keep my gear set fairly light and minimal because of the style of photography I do. If you're new to the channel, I like to do more everyday lifestyle photography. I like to kind of dabble in the art of noticing and like beauty in the everyday life, and that's why I need lighter gear, because I don't want to have this big camera kit on me all of the time. So starting off, what's in my film camera bag? Let's start with the cameras. I do have quite a lot of cameras in my collection, and therefore I have to be very selective on what cameras I'm choosing. But if you'd like to see the whole of my camera collection, I think I've got around 30. I do have a video on it, and I'll link it this side or this side, whichever side it is, my vintage camera collection, and go and check that out as well. After this video, of course, obviously. So onto the cameras. Camera number one is my Minolta 7000. Who would have guessed? This camera I fell in love with around midway through last year, maybe a little bit later into the year, and I got it at a car boot sale for £15. I got it with the camera itself, 50mm prime, and then I think it was a 25 to 80. I think it was a really strange lens. There was a Sigma version of the lens as well, and this camera I really fell in love with. The buttons and the dials are really strange. They have like an up and down arrow for the apertures and the shutter speed instead of having like a twisty dial. But the camera itself is falling apart, but it's gorgeous. It takes some amazing images, it's really lightweight, and I don't really notice when it's around, and that is brilliant for this style of work. So that is my first selection for my camera for 2025. This is, however, subject to change. I have recently come across a Yashica MG1 in my collection. I was given this bundle of cameras a little while ago after a family friend had passed, and this was in the collection. I haven't really used it much, but I do really want to give it a go. There's something about the camera that intrigues me. I quite like the build of it, and it's very similar to my Fuji X100, and I just think the look of it is really nice, so I do really want to give it a go. I'm going to be making sure that I take my Yashica as a backup. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correct, because last time when I said Mamaya or Mamaya, I can't remember which one I said, but I got crucified for it, so fingers crossed that's the right way to say it. As my secondary camera, I have my Fujica GM670. This is my medium format powerhouse. It doesn't require any batteries whatsoever, so it makes it perfect. The film I find is quite expensive, obviously being medium format, but I bought a bundle of it for secondhand off eBay. The film was expired, and I was told it was kept in the fridge, but since shooting some of it, there's been a bit of fogging, whether that's because of the temperature that it was kept in during the posting process, but hey ho, that's just the way it goes. But I quite like the look of it. It kind of adds this nostalgic retro feel to it, which I think is really nice, but that's just down to personal preference anyway. I try not to use the camera too much. I try to be very selective on when I use the camera because it is bloody heavy. The camera is all metal. It is heavy, and using this all the time can get very tiresome, especially even if it's just in my camera bag. So I'm very selective on when I use it. The film stock I have like kind of backed up just in case I do want to use it is expired Portra 400. It's done me very well, but I have to be very selective on when I want to use it. So whether I've run out of film or I think that the Portra 400 is going to hold up really well, that's when I'll use the camera. The image quality on it is gorgeous. The lens is 85mm as far as I'm aware. Is it 85mm? Let me have a look. The lens is 85mm prime at f 3.5, and it produces some absolutely gorgeous images. I absolutely love it, and it's something that I will be using a lot more, as I really want to figure out this focal length of this 85mm prime. I've missed a few shots because of the focusing system. Inside, when you're looking through, you have like an outer rectangle and then an inner one, and I always forget which border the image will sit in, so I try and encapsulate all of it in and then try and crop in a little bit, and that's the beauty of having medium format. You can crop in, so I will be using it quite a lot this year. And for the final camera for this mini segment is the Canon R6 Mark II. This camera is the absolute powerhouse of my YouTube channel, and it's an investment that I'm very, very happy that I invested in, really. I have paired it currently with what's on the camera right now is the 24-105. I have a 50mm prime that kind of companions it if and when I want to do some digital work, and also using the 50mm prime for some really higher aperture stuff. So some like product shots, if I'm showing off a lens or showing off a camera, I'll use that because the higher aperture blurs out the background better, as this is only f4, which works perfectly for this sort of situation. And midway through last year, I decided to pair it with this thing, the Rode Micro 2, the ultra compact version, so it doesn't have an external USB or anything of the sort for actually like podcasting. It'd be nice to have it, but I can just get an extender and hold it here. So it's really worth it if you're looking at upgrading your audio in any way, shape or form, whether you're talking to a camera like this or having it shotgunned on a camera itself. This camera I cannot recommend. This is none of this video I've got any affiliation with any companies. This is just a recommendation on my part. So this is the in-camera mic, and I'm assuming the quality might be a little bit tinny. It's not overly poor, but it's not overly great at the same time. And this is with the Rode Micro 2. I'm hoping you can hear a difference because I spent about 60-70 quid on this mic, so you should hear quite a significant difference. Now on to the new and exciting stuff. The first big addition was my new KNF concept tripod. I've been using this really, really old tripod for about 10 years. I actually got it for free. My dad found it. He was down at his storage unit and somebody had put it by the bin to be taken away, and there was nothing wrong with it. It was probably just somebody's old tripod that they didn't want anymore. So he asked for it and we had it. It has been such a good service to me. The tripod itself though is shocking. You have to untie each of the legs to make them longer. The legs are out at different lengths, so that's not particularly great. I kind of have to try and level it myself. And the quick release works okay, but it's a nightmare to then put that into the camera. So I asked for Christmas and Santa was nice enough to get me a KNF concept tripod. I've already used this for a couple of my videos, and I've got some new angles which before would have been an absolute pain to get. In my previous video of how to become a better photographer in 2025, linked at the top, I got some top-down shots where I had the tripod set up here. Not that you know where my desk setup is, but I set it up here and my desk mat was along here, and I had my notebook. I put the camera and the tripod almost like in an inverted mode. I don't have a cage for my R6 Mark II yet, which is something that I might look at getting. So the footage itself was actually upside down and I had to invert it. But this is not something I would have been able to get on anything else. So I'm very, very happy with how it's going so far. I've used it as well for some low shots, some taller shots and some top-down shots, as before I was attaching a small rig arm to my tripod at full height, and that was just, I could not risk it anymore. So I was very, very happy that I got very lucky for Christmas. And one of the most important additions, and it is the final addition to this workflow, is the new Rolano LED light. I think that's how you say it, Rolano, not quite sure. But this light has been amazing. It's my second time using it currently. Yeah, you can see a little bit of a rectangle in my glasses, but it does the job brilliantly. I had this major issue where I could only record when the lighting was amazing outside. I have lucky enough to have this quite big window right here, so that's where I get most of my lighting in. And if it wasn't on a bright sunny day, it was an absolute bugger to record. It's got a cold tube mount on top, so that's where it's currently sitting, and it's lighting me really, really well. For the price, I think it's amazing. You can change the color temperature, so it's currently just on a white setting, but I can change it to more of an orange. I can change how bright it is, and I think it's amazing for the price. I got it on a bit of an Amazon deal for, I think it was around £38, but I think it's gone a little bit up towards 45-50 currently, but even that, I think it's absolutely worth the price. It charges via USB, and I've not just used it for shots like this, I used it in my previous video, and there's a stand with, I think you can see the blue light, and there was a picture on there that I was trying to record. The lighting indoors was poor, so I put the cold shoe on, I put the light attached on top and it lit the scene perfectly. I do have some old Elinchrom lights where I can attach a softbox, but the fans are so loud. I've tried to use them before and trying to fit them in this small space to my side or even on my desk. It just doesn't fit. This makes no sound whatsoever and it lights me up perfectly, and I'll be using this not necessarily on photo shoots, but to record me whilst I'm doing the photo shoots I might need in the future, but especially for doing this kind of one-to-one chat. So I think absolutely worth it and would highly recommend. This is a slightly different style of video than what I would normally record, but I think it's worth showing you the gear that I'm going into this year with. There might be some chops and changes, but currently this is where I'm going in with it. I don't think I'm going to make too many changes, but you just never know in this industry or what you might need. So that's the current plan, and I will be hopefully taking a lot of images, whether that be medium format or on my 35mm Minolta or Yashica MG1. I will hopefully be taking a lot of images this year. I've got quite a few plans on some different video ideas, so if you would like to stick around and see what I'm going to make, a like and subscribe would be very much appreciated. And if you have any comments or any questions, please leave them down below and I'll try and get back to people if you comment. So follow me on Instagram, use code GRENNY in all caps at the Dehancer website to grade your footage like mine, and most of all, have a great day and thank you for watching. And just a quick one from the post-editing side, I would like to thank everybody who's shown me any support really over the last few months. I've been posting YouTube videos just short of 4 months as of recording this video, and we've already hit 501 subscribers. 500 sounds great, but 501 is it's just that extra one. So I'd just like to thank everybody that's shown me any support, who's liked, commented, shared, or even just watched the video that it counts as a view, and all of those as well that have come over to my Instagram. It really is appreciated. So thank you very much.